Hi, welcome to EngVid.com. My name is Adam, and today I want to talk to you about English. Now, I know that you think English is a very confusing language, and you're right, it's a very confusing language. Many students have come to me and said, but I checked in the dictionary and this is what it means. And I say, yes, but there are several meanings in the dictionary. Which one did you choose? And everybody looks at me and going, the one it says in the dictionary. Little hint for all of you studying English. Many words in English have more than one meaning, and the dictionary doesn't list them in the order that you need them. It just gives you definitions. You need to look at the context. What is the sentence around this word you're not understanding? Okay? So I chose a few examples here just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So I think all of you know this word, wear. You wear clothes, you wear a tie, you wear glasses. So most of you think this is a verb about clothes, okay? Did you know that this could also be a noun? Now, the noun wear and the verb wear have absolutely no relationship. The noun wear, although it can also be used as a verb, basically means to make less, to make more weak, okay? For example, if you put a lot of friction, if you rub something a long time, the material will become less and less. So for example, look at my jeans, okay? If I do this many times, eventually my knee area will wear. And then when this area is worn, okay, there will be a hole here. And then these jeans will have so much wear that I won't be able to wear them in public. People will laugh at me. That's not good. Now, usually, we talk about wear and tear, okay? This is the use of materials. Now, for example, if you have anything with moving parts, your car, for example, you drive, eventually things start to break and fall apart. Why? Because of the wear on the parts. Metal rubbing against metal, the metal becomes less, becomes weak. Okay, so that's wear. I think everybody knows this word, meet. You're gonna meet your friends. You're gonna meet for drinks. Okay, great. Did you know that this word can also be a noun? You're thinking, meet, noun? Can't be. But it can, okay? When? For example, recently you've seen the Olympics. The Olympics is the biggest swim meet in the world. It's the biggest gymnastics meet in the world. The biggest track and field meet in the world. A meet basically means an event. And usually we're talking about a sports event. But meet as a verb also has other meanings besides meet someone. You can meet expectations. Your boss wants you to be able to do this much work in a week, let's say. If you can meet expectations, means you can finish all that work that your boss wants you to do, right? Nothing to do with other people. Has to do with the work. You're meeting expectations. You're meeting deadlines, etc. Mean. Now, most of you, I think, know this word. You think it means mean, like not nice, as an adjective. This word can also be a noun. Now, I'm shocking you, I know, but what does mean as a noun? Well, for example, some of you are going to be taking the IELTS exam. You have a reading score, a listening score, a speaking score, and a writing score. The universities, they want to see your mean score. What does that mean? Mean, right? It basically means your average. If you take all the 4 scores, the mean is where these come in the middle, in the average. So you have to be careful to use this as an adjective, sometimes as a noun. So someone says, have you taken the TOEFL exam? Yes. What was the mean? Oh, it was 7. Oh, congratulations, you're going to university. Next, make. Make. Everybody knows make. This is one of the first verbs you learn in English, right? To make, to create, to build something. Here's another little shocker. It's also a noun. Let's say you're calling tech support. Your computer is not working very well. You call tech support. The first question the tech support guy is going to ask you is, what's the make of your computer? And you say, I don't want to make a computer. I want to fix my computer. And he's saying, well, yes, but what's the make? So make basically means the maker or the manufacturer. Basically, who made it? So the make of my computer, for example, is Acer. Maybe yours is Dell or Apple or Toshiba, etc. So the make, who made it? Now, these two are funny ones because they're used usually as slang. Whoops, sorry. Milk. Of course, you've all drunk milk. You've all drunk water. These are very delicious drinks, but that's not what we're talking about here. Do you know that milk and water can both be verbs? Now, there's of course the literal meaning of milk. To milk is to milk a cow, to squeeze the milk out of a cow. To water means to pour water over something, over your garden or your lawn. But in slang, it has a completely different meaning. To milk something or to milk someone is to get out of it as much as possible. Okay? So, for example, your friend is very rich and very generous, and he likes to give out money. So you try to milk him for every penny he has. Maybe not a nice thing to do, but people do it anyway. That's what milk means, to milk someone. To water, we usually say to water down. To water down means to make less intense. A little similar to wear, but different. To water down means to make it less intense, a little bit weaker. So for example, if you're reading a business report and you have to explain to your customer the business situation, for example, if you give them all these technical words, they won't know what you mean. You need to water it down for them. You need to make it simpler. So you put less technical words, you make the sentences a little bit easier to understand. You explain the situation in everyday words. You make it less intense so they don't get scared. Good. Now, you're thinking, okay, wow, I know all these new words that I already knew, but I didn't know. So now you're thinking, well, how am I supposed to know other words by myself, without me here, without Adam here to explain them? Use context, and of course, use your dictionary. If you look at your dictionary, all of these meanings are there. The thing is, don't take the first meaning a dictionary gives you, because maybe it's not the one you need. Look at the context. What is around the word? What is the situation the word is being used in? And then look for something in the dictionary that matches that context. And that's how you will improve your English. Okay? Now, you're still not too sure, you want a little bit of practice? Go to www.engvid.com. There's a quiz there, you can practice these, and come back to engvid.com for other lessons, learn English, improve your abilities, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.